questions about the film?
Anyone?
All right. Okay. What was the inspiration of putting the West together with technology?
I'll answer it then.
No,
It all starts with our writer, Alex. It all starts with him, and you guys can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. It starts with him, and he wrote it and sent it to us, and everyone just loved it equally, and we were like, let's just give it a shot. We knew it was going to be affordable, and but it also helped, and that was it.
The real answer is the pandemic, actually.
Oh yeah, it helps too.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do a bigger movie with a lot of more actors inside a club. That was out of the window. So how about do it with a limited cast in the open the whole time with a wagon? That was the safest way. We had our own bubble. The wagon was our bubble.
Well, you had plenty of sunshine and fresh air. Because you filmed in Acton and Joshua Tree. How was the filming in both of those areas for you?
It's fantastic. The location was a painting itself. Anywhere you looked, there was always a power line. But that was our enemy. This shot is amazing.
Good camera work.
Don't forget about the planes.
Oh,
Yeah. Not that many though, because there was a shutdown, so it was actually.
and we have Thomas, our sound designer here. He did miracles. Anybody heard of on airplane? Every 5 minutes there was
Oh yeah, the
one.
whole movie was airplanes, like the whole time.
Well, plus two, you had to knock out a lot of the crow cawing and everything, the birds, because there's a lot of those that like to fly around.
Yeah, but that was on cue. They were trained.
And they were trained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vultures too.
Yeah,
don't
the
forget.
vultures.
And actually, they appeared only on the day that Jesus appeared. That
Yeah,
was
the
the
Yeah.
two in the
Yeah.
background, yeah.
Yeah.
They're unpredictable, but they're great. But then, the freeway was kind of shut down. You were away from that area in Acton, so that made it kind of
Yeah,
nice.
that was our bubble. Like we all slept in the wagon.
Why the name Brittany?
Okay, so we went through a few titles, actually, and the original title was Promised Land, and it just wasn't that good. So anyways, we threw a bunch of titles out there, and then Brittney Lost Her Phone came, and we kind of giggled, and that was it. If you make me laugh, that's what happens. That's what wins. So.
And when Vito told me, I read the script and I thought it was great, it was genius. And then he said, I have an idea for the title. And he said, Brittney lost her phone. And I thought, Vito lost it? What is he saying? and now I couldn't think of a better title because he's kind of like giving us, it's like the title is the prequel. Who is this Brittney? And how did she lose her phone? It's like you want to know. It's like she must have been like a teenager, Who knows what she was doing? And she was able to send the phone in the past.
She definitely was a bedazzler.
Oh, by the way, she's
Did
here.
you have it?
You notice that one of the little bling pieces was off, so it's really authentic.
Say hi to Brittney.
We sterilized that.
What do you think was the overarching theme of the movie?
Depends who you ask. I mean, it's, I don't think phones or technology is that evil, but I mean, that might be part of the message here.
Well,
Don't get hooked on porn.
I liked it, it pointed out that it was us. It's just a tool, so that's what I dug.
Yeah, I like how you intermixed it with, especially bringing out the comedic parts of, because we've been thrown into it. Younger generation's been born with it. Imagine the people that would have really happened. It would have been like, wow, but it would have been fascinating. But the comedic ties to your characters, fighting over the phones and having that time, but at the same time.
That's these guys though. They were
Yeah,
really
yeah,
great.
they were
Yeah,
great. The cast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Listen, I'm just glad it wasn't me that was enjoying that.
That's what I.
Naughty scenes.
Yeah, and that's what I liked is that all the characters had a different reaction to the technology. So he obviously.
Was-
Big
Had the
reaction.
sex in the morning, but it was like, yeah, everybody was learning, they were like focused on one thing, and the wife was focused, and the wife couldn't be here, but man, she was
Yeah, she was
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah, but she was, hers was all about the, the baby blogs, but she still liked the selfies and things like that, so I liked how it kind of brought out a little bit of everything that we kind of see.
Well, even Mama Young then, I mean,
Yeah.
just getting a hold of the phone.
I was just in my own little world the
Yes.
whole time.
Scripted as Fox News.
Yeah.
She's on Fox News scrolling the screen.
Oh,
I was just in my own little world, just, I didn't want to, my bubble busted. So I think I kind of, in my little denial world, until I couldn't be in denial.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You had to grab it, you had to find out. And it saved the baby.
It did, yeah.
You would never know, yeah. Young lady's got a question.
Yeah, how closely did you guys stick to the script? And for you actors, were there any significant improv moments that made it in there?
Quite a few, mostly for me, it was, expression and, the scenario. And I do, energy work, so it just came naturally from the whole Jesus world is quite close.
You did great.
The crows and birds, and it was really the science.
You did great.
Thank you.
We're best heads.
Yeah, because your character was kind of like, wait a second, this guy, black outfit, white horse, hey, we know what happens.
Yeah.
When that comes in, we're like,
Well,
where's that
horse,
gonna go?
the horse actually, when I got there, I heard that we saw a cougar the next day, so we were a little scared. And, I couldn't ride it as much because the mare was in, or I guess the other horse, they were detached and they would freak out. So, I think seeing the animal the previous day scared him. So, for my safety, I didn't really want to ride him as much because he was bucked, and so I was, off-scene was bucking him off. But that's the production company with, who was Caravan West, who was a good dear friend of mine. I've done several movies with him. And, Elmer is a horse I've ridden before. And he actually had, met me before, but he was just scared. He was really, hostile. But we made it work out. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it worked. Took a little while.
So your horse saw the cougar.
South Cougar was.
It probably still senses it.
Previous day, because whenever they see it, they remember it.
Oh, yeah.
Animals, and so, he was just, he wasn't himself.
Yeah, that was in the Acton area?
Yes.
Yeah, I live a little ways from there in Little Rock. Cougars and bears, yeah, before you know it, they come down.
And it's nice, it was nice to see everything, come together. And I know you lost the editor before, he did a really good
Yeah,
job.
Wes-
So hats off to him.
Oh,
for
yeah.
doing that.
Wes, our editor, he's no longer with us, so that's why it's
Sorry to hear
for
that.
Wes, but he's in the movie, and, hopefully he's proud.
I'm sure he is. And the Father Young, I mean, the Promised Land, it was great. I mean, coming off of that and saying this is it, just the strength of it, and the rattlesnake. It was like,
Oh, well, I
don't
think it was word for word from
Yeah,
script.
you saw it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the choices were like,
Oh, big,
yeah, that was you.
Yeah, it was.
I read the script like 100 times before we pulled the plug, to make it.
Yeah.
I never, when I saw you the first time,
So it was written very normal and like very, based in the script, and then it was Craig who like made it as a guy who couldn't stand his family because you guys were on the road. I mean,
Yeah,
forever
that was my
together.
motivation. I was on the road for 4 months with these guys.
It's like one of those long trips with a family and you're in that
Yeah,
wagon,
you're
it's
ready
like,
to go.
oh,
You're ready to explode.
snake bite was a privilege.
Yeah. And I met the writer, once, and he was on acid, so I thought, you gotta go for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go eye to eye with a Diamondback, hey, that's,
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta be in the Promised Land, right?
It's funny, because it was.
the strike is always in the promise.
I'm always. Vito?
Yeah. Any other, question right here?
Yeah, what scene was the most fun to film?
Well, I think the most embarrassing one for me, I'm the producer, hi, my name is. So
I've been hearing this for 3 years now since we wrapped on it, go ahead.
that is Vito's favorite scene, by the way.
The jerking off part was funny, but we did so that location though, we did all of it back to back to back. And the guy who we were renting the location from
He
showed
came
up.
at exactly at that time to check how things were going.
So we're all like standing around
And I was like, so I walk, towards him, and he's like this old gentleman, fantastic. He's looking from far behind, and I'm smiling, and I'm kind of like trying to step in front of him, and he's like going like this. And I was like, hopefully they'll be quick with the scene,
No. Now with Vito.
Vito actually knew I was with him, and he knows me that I would be super embarrassed. And they kept going.
Go again, go again.
We had to get it right.
Yeah, he still liked me after that scene. I don't know what he thinks about me, but anyway,
Thank God
most
we're in the digital age. That would be a lot of
Yeah.
16 millimeter all over the place. Oh, what's the best one? What's the best take? Any other questions?
What was the cut scene where the characters died, and then what happened after they died, and then Jesus came upon them again, dead at the end? So what was happening in the meantime?
It was just supposed to be a way of showing like the promised land. The only thing I will say that's not in the script that we had to do was the baby lift. And I think a little bit where, might be a little bit confusing, the way it was originally going to be shot was like everyone, the whole family was dead. And I think it would have shown that a little bit more, I think, if it would have went that way. But we let the baby live, so we had to kind of recut it to show he's just getting the baby and then kind of going off and back to the promised land. So that part might be a little bit confusing, but that's probably the only difference from like the script to the shooting would have been that. I actually think that might have added to a little bit of confusion as well.
Yeah, because it seemed chronologically, the baby was born after the family was murdered.
Right. Like the big, I guess like the big question the whole time was, well, not kind of, but like the big thing was if we were gonna kill everybody or not. I was all for it, but some people have good morals, I don't.
I'll say this. Oh, this is loud. When I was on set, I was the dumb one, and I had no idea that the ending was the way it was. Even though it was written out like that, I was super confused, thinking it was something else, and I thought that kind of like the family was killed afterwards, and blah, blah, blah. And what I didn't realize is like, oh.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you, and it was like the third day of shooting, or it was the first day out there, and I felt like an idiot, because I didn't realize, oh, he kills, my character kills the family.
Yeah, when Jim's head hits that wheel,
Yeah.
and Luke's on top of him going, "World star, motherfucker!" That's when he kills the whole family.
Yeah.
He goes to that area, sticks a knife in his eye.
And so I assumed that the baby was
So all that was the after.
Yeah, and the baby was just sort of kind of, born after death, or, kind of a thing, or it came out, it was born in, but I was like, oh. So I like it even more now, when I realized, I was like, oh, shit, this is actually.
But that part I kind of wanted to have a little confusing. Like that was the part where they die, all of them die, and then the rest of it's just the beginning of them going to the promised land. So the baby might be a little confusing, but the
we
rest
saved
of it
the
is what I
baby
wanted.
because life moves on.
So could there be Brittany loses her phone again?
There could be.
Brittany goes AI.
Brittany, no, I thought about it this morning. Brittany finds her phone.
Oh.
But Vito doesn't like the sequel, so we'll never see it.
Well, you have to get it from the Indian. That's gonna be a whole different tribal thing.
Jesus' excellent adventure.
But
That's it.
let it into Google Translate. So if he speaks whatever language his Indian is, it's gonna relate.
Oh, we should have put the subtitles.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because he could have said something in some, whether it be Cherokee or Choctaw or whatever, and then she would say it back and be, oh, no, you know?
How many want a part two?
First screen? This is the first screen.
I raised the baby. Right? I raised the baby.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So, two real quick, how many shooting days was that? And when would we see this either in the theaters or Netflix or?
So shooting days, we shot this in 10 days.
Wow.
And it's currently being shot, so hopefully within the next month or two, we're gonna know where it's going streaming wise. So this is the first screening ever right here.
World premiere.
Yeah.
World
Oh, sorry,
The
guys.
Brittany name came before the title, obviously, because you had to have the bling on the phone.
So originally it was Siri, like we just were doing a normal cell phone, and then as we're doing it, we knew we probably couldn't do that, so it changed to Brittany, and we're like, well, fuck, you know, might as well try it and see what that works.
And it makes it funny. Like, we
Yeah.
know who Brittany is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, the other little thing is the power issue.
Okay, so that was, let's say that, that's great. So the two things I was hoping no one was gonna bring up, and this is what Alex and I talked about during the script was, no internet,
Yeah.
no no plug-in, so we're like, you know what, if people ask about that, then, you know.
So,
It's
the
a
thing about the power, that's a question that a lot of people ask always, first thing. I think also my friend Arnold, when I told him the story, well, what about power? It's like, what about, like,
How about GPS satellite?
no.
Yeah, all that shit, all, right.
Well,
That
what
all
about,
went- that all went
what about
back
time
into
traveling? Like, isn't that more like, how did they travel there?
That too.
Well, and that all comes down to whether it's an iPhone 7 or a Platinum. And then keeping it simple questions, yeah. And it was really great how did each one of you as a character, being you're in the Western, thought of your script, and then all of a sudden, now you've got to keep that, but at the same time, work with the phone. Because you're working with each other, as actors and actresses, is that you have somebody there, but now you have that time where you're with that phone. And
I mean, the best way I can put it for me anyway is that, I mean, it sounds simple, but the phone is a character, it's a person, so anytime I talk, I just thought about it as, it was everything from God to me, to a woman, to the love of my life, to, the devil, it had a lot of different meanings throughout for each kind of section of the movie, section of my downfall and their downfall as well. So it took on a lot of different meanings.
Was
Kind of a
it
good
hard
answer.
to keep the phone from not activating in a different manner than what you wanted it?
Wasn't it off?
It was off.
It was off.
Yeah.
Well, no, sometimes the screen would come up.
Yeah. It would kind of.
We just
cover
said,
that.
hey Brittany, can you put it on mute?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, how was it filming during that time, budget-wise? Did you feel you stayed pretty within budget?
What budget?
Yeah, right.
What budget, yes.
So we stayed really good in that, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, because you still have production costs, you still have everything that goes with it.
Well, the Indians came with the flag.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
like, yeah, the location, we got the two Indians, they like to be called Indians, just so you know. We were just asking, like, hey, you know, you want Native Americans, and you asked them actually, and they were like, Indians. Steve, was the first one, but, so, like, little deals like that, I mean, like all the, not all the clothing, but the gun,
The wagon is
the
the
wagon,
It's from
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
time.
the throw that I'm wearing, that I get off so stuff like that came with it.
That's
And
good.
we only had the horses for 2 days, so it was basically like, just
Hey,
hold the
Susie.
camera anytime anyone's standing
Mhm.
near a horse, Sean and Craig were just shooting, and them just standing around with the horse, and like, we just kept it going. Just kept it going on.
It took 4 hours to move that wagon, the way you saw it,
Oh, yeah.
like half a morning pretty much,
Yeah.
half a day.
Yeah, especially when you harness the horses up, and I grew up with some of that out there where I've grown up in the Little Rock area, is putting a horse, putting a wagon, yeah, they have their own mind, so you have to move them on and say, go at their pace, or they're gone, or they just stand. They can be pretty, pretty ornery about some of this stuff.
Yeah, they were tough. They were, our horses, I mean, I would do it again, better, but those horses were really difficult.
Well, Jesus and Steve the Indian were the only two that rode it, because I sure as hell
So,
didn't.
normally, a typical day, you have a horse wrangler and you get familiar with your horse, for safety reasons, and then you get acquainted with your horse, and then, go over the respect and roll out your hair, that's what I did. Him, the day before I went down there, and I got to meet him, so that really helped him. So, that's what we did. It turned out really good.
Any other questions about any of them?
Yeah, for the actors, what was the most challenging scene to film?
Getting them to cooperate.
Or maybe a picture, yeah.
Not bucking you off.
Not looking, okay.
The wagon stuff was like the first thing that we shot, and that was the most challenging, because that was the planes. We were shooting right by Van Nuys Airport, so. like
When
that-
Maggie catches Jeb
Antelope Valley.
masturbating, that was like 60 takes, no
Oh.
bullshit, because planes were going over constantly. Like,
Oh, in the wagon,
Yeah.
yeah.
Inside the wagon.
It's private.
That was probably the most challenging, because it was high, and it was all of us, and we're like, up on each other's ass, and we're smelling like ass. But I mean, it was like, every other take was just.
And then
But
also-
Cyrus, the sound guy,
Yeah.
And Thomas.
and, oh yeah, Thomas, I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna forget Thomas.
No,
I just met him today.
And also like, because we had to do all the pauses, having to get everything done in a certain time, because you could only shoot till, remember when the light was going out, it was like, come on, let's hurry and shoot
Yeah.
this. So we had to shoot one.
And then, yeah, but that, all the wagon scenes were shot in our backyard.
Yeah.
That's
It
how
was
we cut the
so
cost.
fun.
Yeah.
I
That's
built a
another
fake
cost.
wagon.
I
at
couldn't
YouTube's
remember
yeah.
the Lord's Prayer for the way.
Sinner.
Yeah, and plus too, filming in the acting area, you got a lot of mountains, so you lose sunlight really
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, you do.
You gotta get that time schedule to do that.
But
So-
also the cost of the location
Yeah.
was not, in my backyard, we could shoot, like, the whole, we wouldn't, but, we didn't have to spend all that money for the location day. When you don't see the landscape,
Mhm.
it's money wasted, we're just inside the wagon, so it doesn't make sense to stay on location.
You got a good yard for a location then. You had the whole
You should
wagon
have
in
seen
your
it,
yard?
we had construction, there was no yard pretty much.
Oh, yeah, they had like construction going on at their house, and like, they built a wagon, yeah.
It's interior, so it wasn't,
Yeah.
like, the interior was different.
No, but but that's enough, to get the canvas over it, to get the wire arches, and to get the bunk in there and everything, that was, wow, yeah, that was.
We could open the wagon, that's how we would fit with the camera. I loved it, like that wagon was like a Lego. And you could like open every side, and we had a pop-up over it, so we could blast it out.
That wagon has some history. Did Peter tell you what it's been in? It's been in Tombstone, it's been in.
Oh, that wagon was in Tombstone?
Yeah.
See,
Man, my
look.
day's been made.
I didn't know that, that's fantastic.
I think it was in Tombstone, and it's in an opening part, or the traveling part. where they're
This is
going.
a traveling part.
Yeah.
It's been in a couple of, Western series too. He's had it for a long
It's a
time.
nice wagon.
It hardly moves, really.
But you know what, shooting on that wagon was one of the best experiences for me, anyway, because it was, it felt like, I felt transported to like the 1920s or something, because, and I don't mean like, I mean like filmmaking wise, because you had, Chris
1800s.
was hitting us with like leaves, they were doing the old school filmmaking, which was a lot of fun. Because they were like shaking the thing, and I'm like, this, oh god.
We're completely stationary.
Yeah, yeah, and so they were shaking, and then they leave, and,
We
you
couldn't
know,
believe, oh my God.
Chris kept running around with the big old, I think it worked.
It was great. And, yeah, because you think of the comforts we have when we travel now, think of what they did have back then. But yeah, that was good with the.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay, I have a last question.
You have a last question?
When you guys were fighting each other, because you had a lot of fight scenes, did you ever get close to actually punching each other?
I think I kicked him in the shin on that one where he ends up on my back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But they added sound to that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but what was great is that Jesus gave me a pair of boots that I wear in the movie that I still have, and I always think about that. So when he kicked me in the
Those
shin,
look
it actually was
familiar.
perfect. Blocked the kick. But yeah, I mean, the fights were, we kind of came up with, especially the big one where I'm like jumping up, because we had to think of how are we gonna make this epic where the phone gets broken, and we had a bunch of different ways. We're like, hey, we're gonna throw it up, and we're gonna, you know, but.
But didn't it just kind of work out? Like
It
you
worked
said,
out, yeah,
everything
yeah,
just
yeah,
magic.
yeah. It was like, just kiss.
Did he give you the double wall boot so you don't get bit by snakes?
No, I got bit by a lot of snakes.
Yeah. Anything else? Yes, sir.
How long have you guys been acting?
I've been acting for, since, 20 plus years, since college. You know, I'm old.
I took my first class in December 2011. This is that long.
I started when I was 5, I was the voice of Sally in Charlie Bone Peanuts. And then I'm also a script supervisor 34 years and started
And that's
acting
how I
20
started.
years ago. So, I've been doing a long
I
time.
met her on a project we did. It was let's see,
I'm 20, 21.
yeah. So she referred me to Vito, and I talked to Vito. I said, hey, I'm the guy.
Yeah, when we saw his pictures and his Jesus.
So I've been a reenactor for many years. I've done a lot of cowboy reenactments, mounted posse. I've done some acting, but I'm not. This is my actual first movie. I've done stunt movies and stuff like that. So this is my first, script and everything. So.
But we were really lucky to get Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Craig was wasn't very sure at the beginning, but he was intrigued. So what he did, we had him for 2 days, 2 days and a half, and he instead showed up like 4 days, I think. But it's only to investigate how how we were doing, if this was something that. it's like how come Craig is here? He's not shooting anything today. And he was just like joking around, looking.
You probably wanted to know, like, what we were doing.
I love to act, and I love to film, and it's like any day on it is a blessing. I actually come through this film by Vincent, because we've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
And I've been acting since, I don't know. Anybody see the Intruder?
Oh, I have.
They're a real film nerd.
Yeah, the horror movie,
It's
true,
on.
classic.
Anyway, since the 80s, and I don't know, anybody see the Hateful Eight?
Oh, yeah.
You've seen more of me than comfortable. And
That's
to
the
figure
most
that
epic
out,
scene ever.
yeah, it's anyway, so yeah, I've been acting a long time, but through Vincent, I met these guys, and hey, hats off to these guys for doing
Yeah.
this.
The last thing I want to add is the fact that Craig came more than he was supposed to. It made him more part of the family because he shot only 2 days, but we had him more, so we felt like he was there with us. He knew the characters. That was his contribution, more than just playing the part, just being with us. I thought it was very precious.
Well, seasoned actor with that many years in that, it's like, what did I step into? I want to see the whole thing, and then, because a lot of times we only see a part of what is done. And then when they put it all together, you're like, do I go see it or not? Or do I go on set, the location, and kind of feel this out? You know, what did I get into? Where's it gonna go? Where's it gonna lead?
Well, I just finished my first film that I wrote and directed. It's a short, but it's a battle, you know, to get these things done, but it's a miracle. Like, this movie has an idea that you know, percolates a lot of different ideas and thoughts. And that's good, and hats off to these guys for giving those relationships life.
Definitely.
You guys did a smash-up job.
Your character is really.
And I think it lines up with a lot of popularity of the dark comedy genre too, you know, right there with Cocaine Bear. I hope you really would.
Please.
Just there was Blazing Saddles, but this one is Blazing Fine. I mean, it's just there. One, everybody's gonna go, Britney, you know, when they think about it, Britney lost her phone. You know, now they're gonna picture what Britney's like, and how she lose her phone, and how it all happens. So they can entail what they want for an idea through the whole film, and enjoy the drama comedy out of the whole thing, and of a Western too, definitely a Western. Because I'm a character actor, and I've worked with Vince, and we had I rattled this guy on set because the director goes, we need more out of him. I don't care how you use language or whatever, we need more. And we did that scene when I got you, and I was really being mean, and I thought, where's this guy's gonna go? I'm gonna get him when we get outside or something. But the scene turned out so good. Yeah. But being a character actor, that you really have to really think about that area of what you're gonna do, and stay within the script because of the way it's written. But there's a little fine touch to it. And each one of you made your character where it was relatable, definitely with somebody out there. You got the younger wild one, you got the older one telling the younger one what to do. I mean, my older brother. You got mom who almost wants to take your ear and twist it. You know, you got dad going, hey, I brought you here, but I may not survive, you know, but I'm done riding in the wagon with you. And then you have who's coming in, it's like, what a turn of events. So it was, I really liked all your characters. I can't wait to see it stream out. Nothing my granddaughter needs to see, but.
or watch it with your granddaughter. I mean, it's embarrassing. I had to watch it with so many producers and the investors. Like, you like this scene?
She's graduating high school.
Anyway, you have to push the envelope.
Yeah.
And this is Vito, yeah.
And
pushes that
yeah,
envelope.
and the humor to bring to it too is, come on. No. I mean, think of the movies we saw a long time ago when we first saw it going, man, my parents do. But it encapsulates a whole new idea. And to do it during lockdown, man, it's hats off to you.
Can I just say one last thing, just because we had the cinematographers here, and some of the shots in this movie are so gorgeous that I even leaned over. I was like, man, this looks amazing. Oh, there he is. There's Craig right there. Craig and Sean. There were some shots. They just sent it to me and said, that's not even in the script. That was just like, look, we got this, do it. Just go up there, we're gonna film, I don't give a fuck what you guys do. So we just started walking up there and they captured magic. I mean, it was like looking at Days of Heaven.
And plus, I think that you wanted to see him walk, not just stand around. Not just stand around either. Okay. Anything else? If not, let's give a big hand for the cast.